Incoming mail.
Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to today's market color recap session. We're going to be looking at commodity currencies, see where they currently are, and the most possible, most likely moves that will be seen on this particular asset class. I see a couple of us online. Good afternoon, and welcome. Teresa, St. Paul, Jonah, hi, James, Colade, hi. Right, good afternoon. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to start this analysis session or this recap session looking at AUD USD first on the H4 time frame. And from what we're seeing here, remember we always state that whenever we see sunshine printed on the chart, we're expecting retracement to happen, which has, and it's not looking like a continuation wants to resume. But let's start over from the top for the sake of those of us who have never seen us use the all-weather strategy for analysis. So if you don't know what you're looking at, the indicators look a bit choppy, that's fine. What you want to do is to take note of the price point or price zones that we're doing this analysis from, and then add your own extra components to them and take advantage of the analysis section. Hi Jonah, good afternoon. So I'm looking at this now. Sunshine has been printed, it retraced, it's not from a new sunshine. So is it possible to see price continue to buy all the way back, or can we see a possible sell-off that will give us a new sunshine printed? Let us see each one to have a better picture of what the market is doing. So typically what I like to do when I look at the H1 time frame is to mark out my next possible point of interest. In this case, we have two, which is right here, somewhere around the 0.65506 and 0.65064. Right, these are my 2 points of interest that I'm now watching out for. What I'm basically saying is price should return into this zone and start to buy from, but from our previous POI, you can see that price already retraced and looks like it's going to keep buying. However, if you zoom in, you see that price has not taken out this zone. So we're going to be watching to see if this level gets taken out. If this zone gets taken out on the H1 time frame, then we know that price is going to keep buying. Buying into what level, you might ask. If price takes up one trade above what could have served as a resistance around here, it's going to be targeting the next level. However, you can also see that we have some sort of shoulder here. a break above, a sweep below, and then a retest. So is it possible to see AUD buyback? I'm going to drag this all the way upward. See buy into 0.67902 and then start to sell very likely, right? But for now, we're looking at more buy modes. But let's go on M5 and see if it gives us that extra confidence to know if the buy would really hold. So I'm basically going to be marking out 3 basic points. What are they? Yesterday's high and low, day before yesterday's high and low, which will now serve as a resistance and support point for us. See what price does around these levels. So I've marked out yesterday's high, yesterday's low. I'm going to have to adjust this so that it captures fully where yesterday's low happened, which is right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark out day before yesterday. Day before yesterday's high and day before yesterday's low. What am I now saying? I'm basically saying that price is already hitting some sort of resistance around here. So is it possible to see that price comes here, hits here, and then sells into our pullback to give us a premium entry, which would also be in confluence with this particular point of interest we've marked out? Very likely. So the reason why we mark out these different points of interest is if our bias is not to the upside, we want to see you come back to retest these levels, give us confirmations, and then we'll go with our overall bias, which is to buy. And if not, and you're able to violate this zone, then we could be seeing possible sell resumption. So as a quick recap, we're looking at H4. On the H4 time frame, all the way from here to current price movements, AUD USD has been a buy move, gave us sunshine printed around here, basically saying that those who were buying took profits. We saw the retracement happen. We've now gone ahead to mark out points of interest that we could see retracement occur 0.655 and this other one. If price retraces into this zone, this is the higher time frame POI, by the way. We want to look for confirmations to take this trade and continue to the upside. We went further to mark out even more recent points of interest that could hold. This is a support zone that could still hold in future as support. This is another support zone, right? If this don't hold, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be buying. But if not, and we don't see confirmations, doesn't matter if these zones get tested, we need to see our confirmation pattern. But if it don't get tested and it breaks below, then it's to be a sign that there's still more room for AUD to keep selling, right? Okay, so looking at NZD now, NZD on the H4 time frame, what are we seeing? I'm going to quickly delete these different POIs from last week, so we can look at today's data moving forward. So again, seeing price buying. It took our what I've served as resistance. It is still buying. So is this going to give us a higher high if we're looking at market structure? This is going to come and buy. If you're looking at candlesticks now, it's already signaling something else. But let's stick to all that, shall we? So I'm saying this profit taking as occurred. Profit taking as occurred. There's a break of structure that happened around here. So are we going to see retracements on NZD and a sell to give us a deeper level, even when you use the Fibonacci retracement tool to calculate this entire swing that we have here, right? This looks like where the buy should resume from. However, if this buy does not resume, because remember you always have to be flexible in the market. If this buy does not resume, are we going to see a sell that will violate this entire Fibonacci swing and trade all the way into the trend? Let's look at each one. I'm going to go ahead and delete the flip tool because we don't really need it here. So on H1 now, you can see that looking at the indicators, it looks like price is also tilting more towards the downside, right? So how do I know if the zone is going to hold or not? That's why we now go on M5 to see what the M5 time frame is doing right at this particular point in time, right? So I'm going to mark out what I did on AU. What are those? Mark out yesterday's high. Yesterday's high. Day before yesterday's high. Mark it out into today's price movement. And then yesterday's low and day before yesterday's. So is NZUSD going to keep selling? The only way I would know if this one is going to keep selling is when I see all of these things that could serve as support violated. If they get violated to the downside, then it's giving me more room to believe that NZUSD sell is going to resume and it's going to sell all the way into the H4 trend line I showed you earlier, which is down here. So let's use the crosshair to to get that level. That's around 0.58090. If those ones get violated, we'll see more sells downward. However, if not, and the buy resumes, then what are we going to see? We'll see a break above these zones, a retest of these levels, and then we'll see the buy resume. Because remember, looking at the recent price movement, this is a swing, and this is an OTE that price could resume from, right? According to the ICT traders, this is where price could resume buying from. So if this gets validated to the upside, then we're looking to buy the NZD all the way in. But if not, and it gets validated downward, what are we doing? We're looking for sales to the H4 trend. Then finally, for USD CAD, I believe this is making sense to somebody. Remember, just take note of the price points here. I know we don't have the indicators. This is for our FXP students, the indicators of our FXP students. So delete previous markups. Predominant move of USD CAD is to the downside. Sunshine was printed. People who were buying this took profit. It has been ranging, though. If I zoom in, look at the candlestick print. USD CAD has been ranging for a while, right? Okay. Now, when you eventually break out, at this particular point in time, we're not interested in taking any moves because we do not trade a ranging market. When am I going to be interested in taking a USD CAD move? When there is a clear move, so that I don't become liquidity sweep for the market when it decides to do a frustrating move. So right now, I'm only going to mark out one point of interest, which is all the way here. I'll pull back. I'm saying that price could trade in here, but even if it does, it will still be caught in the range because there is a low and this could just be an equal low. So until USD CAD breaks out of this range, before I'll even be looking to take any active trade, right? Right now, our higher time frame is caught in the range. We're looking at M5. You can still see the range. All of this is a ranging movement, but let's go ahead and still mark out what we always do. Yesterday's high, low, day before yesterday's high, and low. So this is yesterday's high marked out into today's data. Yesterday's low here. So you can even see that the price movement from yesterday to today on M5 is what even calculates the range. This is the range. So this is now tilting more to the downside. It found support, hence why you're seeing this retracement. It's going to retrace back into our pullback because this indicator serves as a magnet that pulls price to itself. When it eventually trace back in here and gives us that final move, if it is able to break below this zone, then it is clear, or it will be clearer to us that the sell move has resumed. However, if price fails to take out this zone and the support level holds and keeps breaking structure continuously, then we know that it's looking like we want to see more buy moves. But if we're sticking to what price is doing, according to H4, we are more tilted towards the downward movement as it is preferable to trade along with the overall trend, right? So I prefer to see it break below if it does. Now, the only reason why I would halt on taking a sell on USD CAD is because I know that the 1 hour pullback indicator is here. So if price comes back in here, taps into the indicator, there's a possibility for it to buy. That's the only thing that could give me a second thought. But if these zones get violated, then it will be clear that USD CAD sell has resumed. So that's pretty much it for these asset classes. As always, you can always catch up on previous sessions that we did on our YouTube page at Value Flow Trading to see what was initially discussed. But for now, this is the recap. We're going to meet tomorrow again at 8:30 a.m. looking at other asset classes, gold, GBP USD, and yen correlated pairs. So do well to join. If you have any questions, this is the perfect time to ask. If not, we can pretty much call it a day here. But while we're typing our questions, please remember that TBC Abuja is coming. It is just around the corner, 2nd of August. It is going to be a very insightful time, and I look forward to seeing every one of us there. All right. Okay, so you're welcome, Teresa. Thank you so much. All right, please do well to join tomorrow. As always, cheers. God bless. Have an amazing, profitable day and week.